welcome back to one of a kind legal talk show, Law Talkie. I'm Damini, your host for today, and I must say, today I have that guest with me who is very active on LinkedIn, part of various advisory boards, none other than Mr. Tariq Khan, who is the principal associate at Advani and Company. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting my invitation and actually agreed on a very short notice. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, I never introduce a guest because I might miss on something. So, I want you to introduce yourself. Please tell me something about your college life, your experiences, your internships, everything.
Okay, so that would be pretty long. I can write a book on that, but I
Exactly.
can't. So I am originally from UP, a small town in UP, Shah Jahanpur. I came to Delhi and I wanted to be an engineer, and I took admission in science stream, and never really had the inclination of law in my life because there's nobody in my family who's a lawyer. I'm a first generation lawyer, and I was never interested in the minutiae of mathematics or science. But somehow in my 10th boards, I scored pretty decent marks, and I chose PCM, computer science, though I don't remember any part of it now. But I always wanted to pursue something which did not include maths, because mathematics was something I was very scared of. I'm sure all of you, also, most of us have become lawyers because we don't like maths, and I don't see any application of the subject, to be honest.
Exactly, sir. Even I used to pray God na ki like 10th ho gaya, maths gaya, now no more maths. So this happened with me. Like I used to tell my mom because my mom is a professor and
Okay.
specializes in maths only. So she's like कि मेरी बेटी को maths नहीं आता and I'm like बस मम्मा 10th हो गया अब मैं और math नहीं करूँगी. But I think that was not the case with you, na? you
That's
were
correct.
you were good in that.
Yeah. So my parents told me to go for engineering. So I gave engineering exam, and I could not clear the exams. So I had a pathetic rank in AIEEE, and which was in thousands probably. And then I realized that I have no way to go. I was clueless. I was blank. And that's when my father told me to pursue law as a career. And I told him anything but law. I'm not interested in law. But for some reason, I gave law entrance exam in Jamia and did not consider giving CLAT, because glad I got to know that the fees and all structure was pretty high and I could not afford. So Jamia was very reasonable. It was 5,000 per year. So I thought that it was perhaps the best college for me. And I just decided to take admission in Jamia because it was in Delhi. And I was not very career oriented at that time, not fond of reading. So, and I had, did not have command over the English language. I was very underconfident, very shy. So when I took up law in Jamia, I decided to, be casual about it. I was a backbencher in the first 2 years. I was not pretty serious. But then eventually I got into mooting, internships, realized that it is what it is, and this is going to be my future. Started career, CV building, doing something or the other, because at that time, tag of the college played a very vital role in shaping up your career. And I was told that it's not what you know, it's who you know that gets you ahead in the profession. So these were the reasons why I started working twice, because I thought that's the only way to probably be at the same level with people who have the privilege of being a second generation or third generation lawyer. And that's how I went ahead. And fortunately, like today, I am working with Advani and Company as a principal associate. And I've been with them since the day one. And I do a lot of international arbitration, domestic arbitration. I appear frequently in high court, district courts, tribunals, Supreme Court. So I do mix of work. That's my profile in a nutshell.
Yes, sir. So you actually talked about your internships, right? So how many internships you did, if you remember?
Okay, so yeah, I remember, of course. That was the toughest part, because every time I would apply to any job. So, I mean, I would perhaps remember all the email IDs of all those HR of
Wow.
all tier one firms. Yeah, because I remember there's a list that I had made: Amarchan, Luthra, and
Wow.
I used to feel, that I will never get a reply. And honestly, I never got a reply from most of them.
Were you also that
And
kind of student who used to send follow-up mails for their internship?
yeah, I was very
You did that?
diligent. My CV may not have been very impressive, I appreciate, because as a student, there's not much to do. much you can do. There were little things, but yes, I did have some internships. But getting one internship, it's a task for us, even worse than getting a job, especially if you do not know anybody in the profession, or if you're a first generation lawyer, you do not have a godfather, you don't have a good tag of the top prominent law school. So I think all those factors were there in my case. We should not, give any kind of nobody was interested in looking at my CV, because I appreciate even the law firms get a lot of CVs, so it's not their fault. But when I was following up, when I was calling in their office, diligently following with a proper formal channel, even in that case, I realized that, I was not getting lucky. I applied to many seniors chambers. For some reason, most of them never did responded. They did never respond. And I never did anything wrong, like, calling them on their number. I really find it very unprofessional, whether I got it or I didn't get it, but this is something I never did.
Exactly.
Approaching them on incorrect platforms like WhatsApp directly, reaching out to them. But for some reason, somehow after persistence, a lot of persistence, I did get lucky and I did get internships. So for instance, one of the internships with senior counsels, I got after 4 years, after persistently following it for 4 years. And so there were times, I got in one of the tier 1 firms. I did get eventually all my internships, but yes, 3 years, 4 years. Yeah, but mostly I used to get the response. I remember the language of the email that I used to receive. Some of them were kind enough to even respond. And they used to say that, thank you for your interest in our firm. Unfortunately, currently we do not have any slot. However, we have kept your CV in our database and we'll revert to you in case any future
whenever we have any
opportunity
slots,
arises. We again thank you for your interest in our firm. So yeah, that's what it did for us. But I think I ended up doing decent amount of internships because I was never sure as to what I wanted to do in my career. So it was a mixed kind of internship. I did criminal, civil, arbitration, everything, mix of everything to get some idea so that I can winnow down and sieve out what is going to be the fit career choice. Though internships give you some idea, and not, of course, everything about your career option. Yeah. So I think it's been interesting. So every semester I used to do one internship.
Okay. So the viewers, especially the law students, would you like to give them some kind of advice? Because, this COVID-19 pandemic has put all the research work to a halt, but still virtual internships has emerged out as an option. So what would you say regarding that? Like, how should student react to such kind of opportunities, for the virtual internships and all that? And how many internships should one go for? Because nowadays, whenever I just open up my LinkedIn account, I always find like students are doing a lot of internships. So what would you say?
So the idea of an internship is not to put something on your CV. As long as you are not able to justify it, it is all useless. I can write 100 internships, 100, but at the end of the day, I should be in a position to justify my CV content wise, because I'll be asked a question, what work you did there? And if I'm not able to answer, it's all going to be zero. So the idea is not to multiply the number of pages in your CV. The idea is to justify the content, be honest about it. The employer is very smart. They're not fools that you can write whatever you want. Many of the students, I know, I appreciate, they're becoming desperate. They feel helpless because it's not their fault. The situation is such, we are all in this together. All of us are facing tough times, but that doesn't mean you will apply to any firm. Rather than sitting at home, you would think, okay, I need to apply. And some of the students are applying in 3-4 firms at the same time. So they think that they will be able to write 4 different internships during the same tenure. It is funny. I don't know why people are considering that. But anyway, I feel that people should intern the way they were doing. They must keep applying, and that this is an excellent opportunity to apply to foreign law firms and try your luck there, because that is the only chance you get. Because earlier it was difficult getting a visa, they had to give you some space. But I see a lot of interns have in fact done some international internships. And even if you're not doing an internship, you start writing, you do a research paper, or you probably do a lot of reading, brush up your law, explore the different, read books, read different subjects. Like for instance, if you're interested into arbitration is just not one simple thing. It is further divided into construction, dispute, infrastructure, supply, renewable energy. And you might consider reading about maritime arbitration, BITs, sports arbitration. There are so many fields that you may consider reading, and it's too vast. So I think even 1 year, if you have to read it, so the amount of knowledge you will learn, that will be more useful. But yes, internships are important, provided that you are learning something and not wasting your time. And yes, one more thing, interns need to stop being casual about the virtual internships, not taking it seriously. You should actually
Exactly.
feel that it's a proper internship, and they should be diligent and devote the same amount of time and be more dedicated than the usual thing to leave an impression. Because the idea of an internship is to ensure that employer notices your work and in the future offer you an option of position or probably recommend you somewhere. So that's the long and short of it.
Yes, sir. So you talked like you said like you are a first generation lawyer, right? So
Yeah.
what was that experience? Like you said you didn't have contacts and all that. So how did you manage?
So, in my view, I think I mean, if somebody has somebody in the family who's a lawyer, it does give some push for sure. You get some office to sit in, you get some
Exactly.
clientele. You've been born in a family where you have been seeing this in, every day on a dinner table. Cases are being discussed. We never had that opportunity, especially first generation lawyers. I don't think they get that kind of advantage. But yes, at the end of the day, even people who have some background, who come from second, third generation lawyer, even they have to prove their mettle. We have some excellent examples, some leading lawyers in the country who are probably doing better than their fathers and forefathers. So, of course, at the end of the day, it all depends on your merit because nobody's going to come to you again and again. You need to, if you stop performing, the society will reject you in fraction of seconds. So you need to be extremely focused, work very, very hard to survive in the profession. That's how it is. Nobody's going to give you chances if you fail again and again. So, but yeah, I mean, for us who are first generation lawyers, yes, the initial push is there, which I mean, getting somewhere and starting somewhere, it is pretty difficult. So, but nowadays, I think that discrimination which existed probably, I don't call it a discrimination, but the difficulty level is reducing because first generation lawyers are doing brilliant. And I think it's an excellent, so this should not be a factor for students to feel, to, discourage themselves from doing well in the profession.
Yes, sir. So moving forward, like I wanted to ask you this question. Like you're very active on LinkedIn, sir. Like you're always posting some legal content or something like this. But I want to ask you personally, like, were you active on other social media handles during your college life also? Like you always wanted to deliberate on such issues, or it's just being into professional life you are doing so?
To be
Or
honest,
are you active on other social media handles other than LinkedIn?
yeah. So when I was in my college, I was most active on Facebook and
Oh,
initially Orkut and High Five. So I don't think there was much back then. But yes, I mean, I'm not active on Twitter because
okay.
I'm not somebody who follows the mainstream. Just because people are doing it, I will do it. But on LinkedIn, I became active pretty long back. When I entered the professional field, I became active because I thought that's one place where I should keep my, professional advancements, my proper profile. It is some visible CV which should be there. And I wanted to build it nicely since then. It's not that I've been following somebody. So I've been there for a very long time. And I kept updating it from time to time because many people are there, but they never update it. They just leave it like that. But apart from that, if you talk about the other social media handles which I have, I think my Instagram is the most exciting part of my life.
What
I
do you do,
keep it.
sir?
I call it work and leisure. And the
Wow.
good thing is, I keep posting about
So,
my travel
just like
story.
others, do you also stalk people on Instagram or what you do? Like just
No,
following
I don't.
pages?
No, I've not been. So honestly, if somebody follows me, yes, I follow them back to see who that
Okay,
person is.
okay.
And so my idea is to store all my memories because I mean, I'm somebody who likes being called a traveler rather than a lawyer.
Okay.
So I like to travel quite a lot, and I keep posting my travel stories, different cities in the world. Wherever I go, I capture good moments, store my memories there. So I think my Instagram is very close to my heart, and
So,
I like
let me ask
to.
you a question. Do you remember how many followers you have on Instagram? No cheating.
I think I would be having. I remember I open it like I spend like 1 hour a day on Instagram, so
Wow. So,
it
how
must
many
be
followers
somewhere
you
around.
have?
Not many. I have 1,600 or so followers, yeah. And I'm following like 490 people. Yeah.
And like, which is your favorite page? Like, for that page, you wait for them to post some content or something like this. Is there any page like that?
So so they may be yeah, there are pages. I like to see not that I wait for them, but I do like, so I'm a foodie. So of course any page which is posting food. Plus there is another page, travel and leisure, which is posting a lot of good exotic destinations to travel. and I just take ideas from there, and I like to make my travel
So you
plans
are a
according to that.
foodie. Sir, you are a foodie.
I'm a big
So
foodie and I love traveling.
so don't you think जब आप इंस्टा खोलते हो आपका मन नहीं करता फूड ब्लॉगर ही बन जाता हूँ यार? मैं तो सर जब भी
I
इंस्टाग्राम खोलूं, जब भी मेरे को ऐसे फूड ब्लॉग्स दिखते हैं, मेरा तो मन करता है यार फूड ब्लॉगर ही बन जाते हैं. Don't you think like that? Or you just love seeing
that's
pics or something like that?
no. I am, in fact, you may call me a food blogger also, because I
Oh,
am
you
somebody
are?
who you may call me, not that I'm doing
Okay.
it professionally, but a lot of my friends, they like hate me for posting food pictures, very amazing,
Okay.
especially the
So you are
non-vegetarian
that
food.
kind of person who never eat like before he takes his photographs and then he just go ahead with eating and all that. Pehle just show off while posting pictures on WhatsApp everywhere that I'm eating this stuff. So
Not on WhatsApp or anything. Yeah, if I eat something which is very different and which looks very interesting, like if I'm going to a new place and they're serving food in a very different fashion,
you
so
just
I do
capture that.
post food pictures. Yeah, I post food pictures whenever I go to some. Like if I'm trying some new cuisine in a new country, I would love to show it to others so that
Wow.
they know what different cuisines that are there and how they serve food. So yeah, I mean, I do that.
Okay. So talking about LinkedIn, just tell me how many followers you have. Do you remember?
On LinkedIn, I may be having somewhere close to 8,000 followers, I feel.
And obviously connections are above 500, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So that was about your social media handles. So moving forward, the most interesting part of this talk show is we have a rapid fire game. So I'll
Okay.
ask you genuine questions and you need to answer, but be honest, okay? So the
Okay.
first question is, what was your attendance in the college? The particular percentage.
My attendance was always above 70, because, and plus I used to get advantage of all the moot courts that I was doing. So many
Wow.
moot courts, many events. I was a debating society president. Then I was a placement coordinator also. So I used to get
Wow.
attendance, was no problem in my case. I was
So
regular.
like, were you that kind of student, who was very punctual and all that? Were you that
I
kind
was
of?
not, no, I was not very punctual because I used to burn the midnight oil, and I was
Okay.
mostly working on my moot courts. I did Oxford Prize Media and I did a lot of good moots, which required me to stay up for days at a stretch, like 5 days, because memorial selection was a task, for instance. So, and plus I was organizing events, doing a lot in college. So I was, and coming back late from the internship. So I would always get up around 9 o'clock or so. And the first class used to happen around 9:30. So I would mostly miss the first.
Okay. So, was there any professor in your college who used to cut your attendance even if you don't talk? Even if you just touch your phone, they are like, no attendance for a week.
There were professors like that, but in my case, I think everybody was very
Oh,
fond of me,
you're a
fortunately.
good student,
And
na? That is why.
I was not a very good student, but yes, they were. I was in good terms with my professors, and they did not really trouble me. They were all good
Okay,
people.
okay. So, the worst punishment you got. It can be
In
in college,
college,
it can be in school. But that punishment should be such like you remember it till today.
honestly, I was somebody who was. I used to get away with the punishments always
Oh.
by making some
But
excuse or
still,
the other.
sir,
Whenever
still, any
I
kind of
think, yeah,
punishment.
I think it will not be a punishment. The only thing that I remember is I got late for the exam. It was, I think I got up pretty late because I did not sleep for 2, 3 days at a stretch, like 2 hours, 3 hours. And then when I went there, so I was already 1.5 hours late. Half
Oh,
time was left, so they didn't let me do the exam because obviously it's not allowed.
obviously, yeah,
So yeah,
that
that
is
was
reality. And
yeah,
what
I
was
tried
the
my best, but
best experience? That was the worst, no. But what about the best one?
best experience in college. There have been various events like Oxford Prize Media. Jamia participated for the first time amongst all the top law colleges in South Asia. Out of 20 teams, Jamia made it. And I think that was the only time we made it. And my memo selection, that was a great. And every time we would win a moot court, plus the fact that I organized the first parliamentary debate in Jamia. So that, I mean, these were all amazing moments.
But what
Being
about
on
the
the stage.
professional life? What about being into this professional life and all that? So, what is your best experience now?
Recent
Being into
experience
this,
would,
yeah, professional into. Yeah, so what is
yeah,
that?
professionally, I think the recent achievement that I can think of is the 40 under 40.
Yeah,
I'm just 20, and I
I just
was
wanted
the
to listen
youngest.
that. I just wanted to listen that. That is why I asked you this question.
Because people had, I always used to think whether I'll be able to make it to 30 under 30. So I could have applied. In fact, somebody was recently saying you unnecessarily took a slot of one more individual. you could have applied for 30 under 30. So 40 under 40 was not your thing. But fortunately, I made it and I was just a principal associate in the list. And all of those, I think, were partners and, managing partners in the list. So I think, yeah, that was a pretty interesting, something which I really enjoyed.
Okay. So the best internship of yours, like you always say ki yeah, that was the best internship I did. Like I learned a lot and the experience and all
Yeah,
that.
I think the best internship was the one which I did with Mr. Siddharth Luthra. I think that was a
Okay.
very good internship, good internship. He was the ASG back then. It was very good quality work. We used to stay there in blistering cold in January till 2, 3 in the morning. And we used to report at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 sometimes. So that was a very good experience because I like something, which is challenging. And I think that was a very challenging internship.
What is your area of expertise?
My area of expertise essentially is commercial law. I
Okay.
do a lot of arbitrations, international arbitrations, micro, small, medium enterprises, disputes, MSME disputes, writ petitions, insolvency, bankruptcy. These are my key area of practice. Civil suits and all, of course, are very general, quashing, and then bail applications. All of this is everyone is doing, but except tax and IPR, I do everything.
So, like, I personally want to ask you one thing. Like, how should one decide, like, what is his or her area of expertise? Like, how should one go ahead with this? Because, like, if I want to decide, like, what should be my area of expertise, how should I decide that? Because I'm very confused. Or if the, like, viewers might be confused about their own, area of interest and expertise. Like, how should one decide? How did you decide? Like, your area of expertise is this one.
So I think in most of the cases, you don't decide. No matter
Okay.
what you decide, he has other plans. Just like, people have plans to, for instance, do X and they end up doing Y. So you never decide. It's not in your hand. Destiny takes you there. So in my case, the profession chose me, the subject chose me. I
Okay.
never studied arbitration in college. I never did any just one internship that I did, and I did not learn much about arbitration. So until I graduated, I had zero clue about arbitration. Never did any moot court in arbitration. I always thought of myself as a criminal lawyer because I was very obsessed and
Yeah,
very
with this
impressed by
IPC and
Mr.
all
Ramji
that.
Malani. Yeah, because of Mr. Ramji Malani, who had a very strong influence in my life, and even Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer. So these two people had a very important role to play in my life, and I see them as my role models. So, but then it happened. I mean, I started working in a firm. I started enjoying the work. I started growing in that because once you are in something, you have to give your best. And that's what I did. I decided that just be working and putting all my efforts in this field. In some cases, yes, there may be that, for instance, if somebody's father is practicing in criminal law, he may have to end up doing criminal matters only. But I think it all depends on what circumstances are there, what position you are in, what is the need of the society at that time. If a subject is picking up, I might as well mold my practice accordingly. So I think the law keeps changing. The needs of the society are ever evolving, ever changing. You have to learn to adapt to all of that to sustain.
Okay. So, sir, who is your mentor?
So, like I told you, in my life, I had mentors like Justice Krishna Iyer, whom I never met, and Mr. Ram Jethmalani. I used to look up to these people. I always learned from them. And apart from that, if you see recently, I have a couple of people who have encouraged me. My senior, Mr. Shashankar, Mr. Hiru Advani, they have been my mentors. Professor Salim from Lloyd, he's the director. He's also one of my mentors. So I do have certain mentors who have helped me in some way achieve whatever I have and did guide me, and I look up to and I go back to them when I need some guidance. Parents,
Okay.
of course, are always, yeah.
So, as per you, lawyer is equal to what?
A lawyer is everything. A lawyer is a social engineer. A lawyer is a, uh, you know, author, academician. He can write columns. He can be a journalist. A lawyer can, with a law degree, you can do everything. So I think lawyers are capable of doing anything. Above all, they take the burden of the people on their shoulder, resolve their disputes, solve their problems in life. So I think lawyer has a very important role in the society.
Okay. So, sir, if you are given a chance to change your profession, what would it be and why?
I
I've
would
got
like
some
to be
idea.
a travel. Yeah, a travel blogger is something I would love to become,
Okay.
or
Okay.
a food blogger. That's something. Or
Okay.
photographer. Yeah, I love.
Oh, you love photography. Then you would be planning to
Yeah.
buy iPhone 12, right? Because that has the
No, I,
photographer's camera.
no, I have a better camera than that. I have OnePlus, so I am a OnePlus
Wow.
fan. I don't like at all.
You don't like iPhones.
iPhone, I think, is not my taste. I mean, I'm somebody I've seen compared cameras, so all my iPhone user friends are also asking me to click picture from my phone. So yeah, I think OnePlus has the best
Wow.
camera.
And I'm the one who's waiting like from past 3 months for this iPhone 12. But you don't like iPhone. Chalo
Never
koi
been a
nahi.
fan of Apple products.
Okay. So, sir, the most important question is, if you are given a chair of Chief Justice of India, what would you do?
I would like to expedite the relevant matters. I would take up matters which actually matter and try to resolve them at the earliest. The key issues which concern the country, I will take them up and I will make them my priority because in the past we have seen some of the matters were not given the indulgence which they required. So I think that is the most important thing which uh, Chief Justice should look into. Apart from that, I feel that the role of a Chief Justice is to ensure that justice is being delivered, dispensed by other courts, subordinate courts in a timely manner. So steps must be taken to ensure that pendency of cases is reduced and the matter get expedited. So yeah, I think that's what I like to do.
And what if you are given a chance to amend any of the provision of the Constitution or any of the act? What would it be and why?
So frankly, I'm not in a position because I think the framers of the Constitution, the Godfathers, I'm not even close to not even 1% of what they were.
Exactly.
But I
Yeah.
think that I'm somebody who believes that we must get away with the practice of reservations. I
Okay.
think people should be judged on the basis of their merit, and if possible, we should do away with the practice of giving reservations because I think it is slightly unfair to a lot of people who are putting their 200%. I mean, if at all reservations are to be given, this must not be on the basis of religion, caste, creed, etc. It must only be on the basis of the to the downtrodden, weaker section of the society. Economic disability should be the only
Exactly.
criteria in
The
my mind.
economically backwards should be given the reservation.
Absolutely. That's my
Okay.
own. I would want that change. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, that was all about the rapid fire game. Okay. So now talking about the firm in which you are. So what is the internship, procedure for the students to apply for? Like if I want to apply there, so what is the procedure and what is the selection criteria? If you can just tell me so that the viewers can know about it and they can apply accordingly. Because now, and
Okay.
if you are accepting the virtual internship applications or not.
Yes, we have been accepting since day one. We've always kept like 4 to 5 interns, and it's very simple. You apply at Delhi at advaniandco.com. That's our
Okay.
website, the email address on which you apply for your internship. So at least when I'm checking the internship application, if at all I'm scrolling through my phone, then I would only see the application is perfectly sent. It is sent timely. I give reference to applications which have been sent in advance, months in advance. And
Okay.
I'm not somebody who likes to read the recent emails. I would always start from the back, people who have applied earlier. So that way, and then I see whether the application has been casually sent quickly on my mobile. I can, merely by looking at it, you can see grammatical errors. So I just reject those applications. Only the ones which are perfectly sent and the CV looks pretty decent, nicely tailored, and properly drafted covering letter, not a copy paste, which we know people have. Now, half of them are copy paste. So if it's genuine and if somebody has applied diligently and followed up, then probably we give internships easily. That's not
And
something.
what about the preferences for the students? Maybe because of the NLUs or the non-NLUs?
No,
What
that is
about
not
that
something we
ratio?
have. No, no. I am myself somebody who's not from
Who is
NLU. So
not
for
from
me, all of
NLU? Yeah.
I am somebody who, in fact, give preference to non-NLUs because
Non-NLUs.
I know. Yeah, because,
Okay.
yeah. But anyway, just that's just something that I'm saying. But yeah, we only give to people on merit, whether NLU and
Okay.
non-NLU. That discrimination is something at least I have never come across in the firm.
But so I personally want to know like your experience being a non-NLU student. How was that? Like, being a non-NLU student today. What was the, has there been any change? Or what was that experience which you felt or something like that?
So honestly, initially there was some discrimination. I'll not deny. When I was there, and I think that time the tag of NLU was too much. For firms, we are only looking for NLUs. We are not going to hire from any other firm. Many of the prominent firms had that strategy, and that's fine. They probably thought that, and maybe NLU students were pretty good. That's correct. They had that kind of exposure, and they worked very hard to be where they were. So, but I think that that should not be the only criteria. Yes, that can be that can be a view that yes, majority of the students from this college would be good, but there are exceptions in some non-NLUs who are exceptionally brilliant, better than all the NLUs. Perhaps you never know. And
Exactly.
I think that so the firms need to be careful while dealing, because at the end of the day they must understand that there are people who are really trying their best, of doing everything that they can in their capacity. So at least their hard work should be rewarded. But now I think it has changed. I think the NLU non-NLU culture has changed, because a lot of non-NLUs are doing very well in the profession, and they are recruiting people like them. So I think
Exactly.
it's helping. It's helping, and now I don't think there's much. But yes, some firm may still have that kind of criteria. But at the end of the day, I feel that factor has reduced drastically now, which existed back then when I graduated. So yeah, now it's only your merit that will take you forward.
Few days back, I was just scrolling through my LinkedIn account and I saw like there was I don't know, a non-NLE student was sharing his experience that he just went through an internship kind of, a job alert that the firm is looking for students who are only from the NLUs and particularly from the fourth and fifth year. So what would you say regarding that? Because I'm also a non-NLU student, sir.
See, honestly, I mean, I think such practices must be discouraged. I don't know who did this, because I don't think this is a good practice. Yes, you may say I require a fourth year or a fifth year student. That's fine, because you're looking for somebody who has that kind of experience. But saying that I only want NLU or non-NLU, I don't think this is a good practice. You must say somebody, you can tailor your request. Somebody who has done work extensively in arbitration, somebody who's interested in the field of criminal law, somebody who has publications in the field. Send your written work. These are the criteria with which you can easily judge the merit of the person. But I don't think the tag of the college will decide who you are and what you are. I'm strongly against such practices.
You're very active on LinkedIn. So can you please tell me like what kind of content you share and why do you share that kind of content?
See, I am somebody who doesn't like to write on everything, but my content mostly includes, any recent lectures that I have done. I like to share it with my followers. I think that maybe they will be able to learn one thing or the other. If they benefit from it, nothing like it. Secondly, I think that it's very important. So, me being an arbitration lawyer, I like to keep everybody around me updated, because my circle is mostly people who are doing arbitration or people who are interested in arbitration as a career option. So I post a lot of content relating to arbitration. And yeah, sometimes exceptionally, if there is some issue on which I want to voice my opinion, which I think I need to educate people or tell them my perspective, right or wrong, irrespective. So I do like to tell people about very, very important developments in the law. So yeah, that's the most of, but 70-80% it's just arbitration. I don't like to report on everything.
You are the part of various advisory boards, right, of the new startups which has emerged during this lockdown. So what would you say regarding those startups, or is there any advice for students who are actually planning to come up with their own startup in the coming days or in coming months, maybe?
So the lockdown made everybody very creative, and people
Exactly.
decided to open up these startups, and people learned from others when they saw that other colleges are doing it. We'll also do it. So that
We will also do
enthusiasm
that.
and
Yeah.
excitement, yeah, is something I encourage, and I am always there for every student, because I know that I've never said no to anyone. That's what I recall. No matter who comes to me, I have never said to my mind, whether they have two followers, one follower, they have a page, they're a startup. It doesn't matter to me, because I'm not somebody who's doing it for my publicity. I like to support the initiative, encourage them in whatever way I can. And I feel that if spending 1 hour or 30 minutes is going to help them in some way and motivate them, I am always there. But the problem is that people lack that kind of dedication. So there are so many startups and only ones who are dedicated and who are trying to do something different, and trying to, because when the webinar culture started, everybody started doing
Oh
webinars.
my God,
So now you need to,
everybody.
yeah, and what you are doing, for instance, is slightly different. you're giving a different perspective. Some new questions have come up because I have given like 20 to 25 interviews already, but this is slightly different, which I'm also enjoying, because I'm not giving the same answers and these questions were not expected. It's a spontaneous interview. So I think it's important you do touch upon the personal life of the person also, who they are as person. And I think, yeah, that people need to have that dedication, and they should believe in that idea, spend a couple of hours, not just leave it like that. And this excitement should not go away as soon as the situation normalizes. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. So, sir, that was indeed a wonderful session. But to wrap up the whole session, is there any kind of advice or suggestions or any motivational words for those students, especially the fresh graduates of 2020 who are very disappointed? Yeah.
Okay, so for the advice that I'd like to give my young friends who have just graduated and who are going through a very tough phase, I know the times are not easy. There are no jobs in the market. Courts are shut. Everything is virtual. You do not know where to go, what to do, because there is less hope, and you feel that there's a dead end in life. And I know that this is a very tough time. Probably if I would have graduated in this time, I would not have been in a positive frame of mind. I would have thought about all negative things, that my career is over, how it
Yes.
is starting. Because everybody has expectations. When they start, they are very, there's a lot of fire in you. But that fire is gone because people are thinking that's been 6 months, 7 months, and we are just sitting at home and they are just doing anything. But my advice to you is that we are all in this together. Do not think that if person is posting excellent stuff, he's happy, he's doing a lot of good stuff. We all are suffering. We all have been affected by the COVID. And this is just a phase, it will go. Whether it's a good phase or a bad phase, nothing is permanent. It's just going to go. And you'll remember this. But what you are going to do during this time is going to stay. So what I did when COVID lockdown started, I started doing webinars. I think I was the first person who started doing webinars amongst the people that I know. I started taking initiatives. I started writing, and I don't remember watching movies or doing any nonsense. I was just working, and I don't remember even a single day when I was just, enjoying and not doing anything productive. So I did make a list of things which I had to do, and do not waste this time. If you're doing nothing, just read just judgments from Justice Iyer. That's what I did all my college life, and I improved my command over the language, the legal lexicon. I did develop that kind of, because I was somebody who could not even speak one proper sentence in English, and today I'm able to give an interview. It's all because of those interviews that I saw. There's too much to learn. You have so much to learn. So much of content is available, freely available. Make use of it. Do not be disappointed. This phase is going to go, and stay positive, stay productive. Some people call me and ask me that, I want to do a job of this, things they don't want to do. Don't just get swayed away in the need of the hour just to get a job. Do not just be desperate about it. Do not join any wrong office where you don't think you will enjoy the work. Join the office when you get the good opportunity. In the meantime, you keep working on your skills, keep writing articles, write a book perhaps. That's what Shakespeare did. People, they were doing some discovery. Think
Hmm.
of something good. Stay positive. Idea is to be positive at all times. So surround yourself with positivity, and remember that negativity is something which, at least here, it doesn't live, so it shouldn't live there also. So be positive, learn, and surround yourself with positive people. If somebody is asking you, oh, you are not employed, what are you doing, just just don't surround yourself with such people. You're not answerable to anyone. As long as you're working on yourself, you're gaining content. Whether you get the money or not, it is irrelevant. And yes, there are people who are hiring. Keep looking for opportunities, keep trying. Do not sit at home thinking that the job will come to you. Be positive and productive. Remember that the harder you will work, the luckier you will get. And there is no substitute to hard work. So just keep working hard. That's all.
And plus, like, so many people say, like, you are into legal kind of profession, you must have contacts and all that. So how did you manage to have contacts, sir, being a first generation lawyer? And what are the advices for the students who are watching, especially the first generation lawyers, that how should they start contacting people? And what should be the best time to contact people? And what should be the approach? Like, the time I contacted you, I didn't had hopes that you will reply. I'll be very frank. I was like, okay, I texted you now. I was like, you won't reply. But I got a reply within 2 hours. So I was shocked.
Yeah.
So, this is how the process should go on with each and every lawyer and with each and every student who has a hope that that person will reply, right? So how should one go ahead with this, like while expanding his or her networks? What should be the approach, and what is your experience
Yeah.
in that? Based on your
So
experience, what do you say?
I feel when you're trying to expand your network, you need to first grow yourself as a person and as a professional, and then people will notice. It cannot be that you are fresh graduate from somewhere and everybody would be interested in knowing you. You need to first show them your skills. You add them, whoever you like. If you are liking somebody's work on LinkedIn, follow them. Just message them that yes, sir, I've been following your work for some time, and I'm very happy to see. I'm learning a lot from you. Keep working. Don't just ask directly. Oh, I can I get a job? Can you give me internship? Do this. You just disappoint the person. This is not the right way. Then you show them your work. You keep posting your achievements. You keep writing blogs. You keep writing on the topic. Express your views, and just comment on good legal discussions on LinkedIn or such platforms. Make a good LinkedIn profile. Once you have that, you will automatically get noticed. Like I have noticed a lot of young students, if they will ask me, so for instance, when you approached me, I did see your message was very formal, very proper. You didn't say, oh hi, Tariq, can you do this for me? It was not a casual message. You very nicely, formally approached me. Then I saw about your initiative, and I saw how nicely you had done it, how professionally you were doing it. Then you sent me an email formally. You asked me, sir, please give me your email. I would like to reach out to you. And then you sent me a sample of how it is going to be. You asked me for my convenient time. You did not just start calling me randomly if I'm not answering, again and again calling me. So, you did not trouble me at all. It was very smooth with you. So that was the reason I did. And everybody wants to help. But yes, there are exceptions who just get annoyed. They won't reply. So there are many people. Reach out to the right people. You will definitely develop your own network. But at the end of the day, you need to know your subject. Only then people will connect to you.
That's good to know, sir. But personally, I just want to know one more thing. So you participated in a lot of meets, right? How many you
Yeah.
won? How many trophies you have?
So I'll tell you honestly, whenever we would go for, so I remember winning 3 national moot courts. And in some of, so Oxford Prize Media, I was the 12th best speaker of Asia. We did not win.
Wow.
The main win was that we were in the top 20 selection, memo selection. So that was a big achievement in itself because there were other countries as well. Then I won one in IP, some college in IP. So 2 IP colleges. Then I was third in Law College Dehradun. So yeah, but there were some big moots that I did, which I did not win, but I did make it to the quarters and all. So it completely depends what is choice of moot. If you are doing a moot court just to win, that's not the idea. The idea is to learn. So I learned the most in the moot courts where I lost in the prelims. Like I took up Surana corporate law moot court. There was CA, etc. So it was a very challenging thing. The problem was on GAR, general anti-avoidance rules, and I took that as a challenge because tax was something I was always scared of. But it was a tax moot problem. So whatever I know about tax, I know it through it. And I recently, when I wrote an article on Vodafone judgment, all that helped me. So back then, when I had studied the tax GAR and all, so yeah, it's always interesting. The idea is to learn, not to win or lose. It doesn't matter how many moods you win. How much you learn from it is what is important.
And how was the family's reaction, sir? Like you said, you were the good student, right? So you had the family support or something like this. So, what was the reaction, or how was your family's reaction into all of this, your professional life and all that? Because you said like you were not, financially that well. So yeah, what was that? How was that experience?
Uh, so the my thing was that I always wanted to be independent, self-made. So family support obviously has always been there. People have, I mean, every family has been supportive in every case. I'm sure there's nobody who can say that my family didn't support me. Family support is always there, but the thing is that some people have that feeling that they want to do things on their own, and they want to be self-made. I was one of them. I was very, uh, confident about it that whatever I'll do on my own, and that's what I've been doing. And family has been always supportive. More than financial support, I think the moral support is important, which has always been there. And as long as your family believes in you, your loved ones believe in you, you can do anything and everything. Because I've seen people who had all the comfort in life, but they did not have the moral support. So they could not do anything. And we have many such examples in every industry. So yeah, I think moral support is the most important. Somebody who boosts up your confidence and is your strength, pillar of strength.
Yes, sir. So that was all about this session, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. And I personally felt that you actually agreed on a very short notice for the interview. And I personally enjoyed it. And I hope the viewers will also like it. If they will have any doubt, they will comment it in the comment box. And yes, guys, you can reach out to Sir on his LinkedIn account. The username is very simple, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the same as Mr. Tariq only. Yeah. So you can reach out to
Yeah.
them. And yes, if you just send them a formal message, then only you will get reply. Otherwise, you will not get. Am I right, sir?
Yeah. No, otherwise also I respond sometimes, but then I tell them that you need to approach in
Improve.
such and
Yeah.
such.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Okay,
give
sir.
a
So
feedback.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure and I really enjoyed, thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye.